Hello students, it's Mr. Weaver and I'm so excited to tell you about the annotated bibliography assignment. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you that when it comes to doing research, one of the things you have to do in doing your research is think, how is this source actually going to help me in doing my presentation? It's not just a matter of finding sources, but it's a matter of understanding what's in them and actually presenting. So one of the ways that I teach you how to think through your sources is by doing an annotated bibliography. The instructions are online, and here they are for how to do them. And then here you have the place where you can fill out the annotated bibliography. An annotated bibliography is where you take a source. Let's say you find an article on iSource, which I'm going to, Mrs. Ashworth and I are going to teach you about iSource. You find an article and you say, ooh, this might be helpful. You don't have to read every word of the article to do an annotated bibliography. Now, traditionally, you write a summary and then you analyze the actual source for its credibility and its effectiveness. Instead, for my annotated bibliography, we are going to do a brief summary, and then I want you to tell me how this might be useful in your presentation. So 2 parts to an annotated bibliography, and I go over right here. For this assignment, this is a key right here. We are going to modify the product. Instead of informing the reader of the relevance, accuracy, and quality of the sources, I want you to do the following in at least 75 words. You know what, 75 is a lot. Why don't I just right now put it down to 60? You're welcome. Because it's not really about how long it is, it's are you doing this correctly? First, you're going to summarize the source. What it's about? What's the author's main idea in this piece? How is he or she trying to explain or prove this main idea? So let's say I'm doing one about absentee fathers, and there's an article about the prison population and its correlation with absentee fathers. So you might say, hey, the summary of this article is that there is a correlation between the prison population and absentee fathers, and they go into those details. Then it says, explain what information in the source will be particularly helpful in your presentation. In other words, how are you going to use this information? What part of your presentation are you going to put this in? Okay? And read the summary. It does not have to be complicated. Let's say you are going to do statistics having to do with absentee fathers, and you find some statistics in this article. You don't have to give me a summary of the whole article in the presentation. Maybe you find just one statistic that's really particularly interesting. You still do the annotated bibliography, but then when you present, you just reveal that one statistic to help the audience understand. When you're doing research, you are looking for several sources, and you're compiling information from those sources. From one source, you might get some definitions. From another source, you might get some risk factors associated with your topic. From another source, you might get some behaviors associated with your topic. From another one, maybe some statistics. So you're going to piecemeal, you're going to get all of these different types of information, and you're going to put it together in your presentation. So I want you to read from a variety, and you'll notice for the annotated bibliography, you have to have 5 sources, okay? So what you'll do is you'll put the citation here, and I'll teach you how to do that. Then you're going to write your paragraph of summary. Make sure you indent it right here. And then your paragraph explaining what in the source you're using in your presentation. And here's your first citation. Then you go on to your next one when you find another source. A source is just something that you read from online that you're going to put, that you could potentially put in your presentation. Now, just because you put it in your annotated bibliography does not mean you have to use it. So don't feel bound by this. This is just a tool. The annotated bibliography is a tool to help you read a variety of texts for your research. Now, most of them you'll probably get from iSource, which is a database that we'll be teaching you about, but you may find a book, or you may find an article. You might find a video on YouTube that has a credible source. And all of those you can use for your annotated bibliography, for your citation that you're using. So I'm hopeful that this is helpful for you, and keep listening in class. This might be a little foreign at first, but once you get the hang of it, you're going to do just fine.